Ethan Clarke's mornings always began in the same way. The shrill alarm at 5:30, the creak of the old floorboards beneath his tired feet, and the faint sound of his twin daughters stirring in the bedroom they shared down the hall. Life since his wife's passing had turned into a cycle of routines: coffee strong enough to burn, packed lunches with uneven sandwiches, and the constant rush to get Mia and Lily dressed, fed, and ready before he left for the construction site. He loved his girls more than anything, but some days, love wasn't enough to erase exhaustion. The twins were 6 now, bundles of energy who seemed to require 3 parents instead of 1. He managed, somehow, but when his supervisor announced a new project that demanded overtime and late evenings, Ethan's heart sank. There was no one else. No family nearby, no trustworthy neighbors to call on. He needed help, though the thought of letting a stranger into their little world made his chest tighten. By Thursday, he had no choice but to post an ad for a babysitter. His expectations were modest. A college student, maybe, someone who would watch the girls for a few hours in exchange for spending money. He didn't need perfection, just someone reliable enough that Mia and Lily would be safe until he got home. Saturday morning came with a knock at the door. Ethan wiped his hands on a dish towel, glanced once around the cluttered living room, dolls on the couch, crayons scattered across the rug, and pulled the door open. The young woman standing there was not at all what he expected. She looked about 20, with chestnut brown hair tied neatly back, but her posture carried a kind of grace Ethan usually associated with lawyers or news anchors, not babysitters. Her eyes, a striking hazel, flickered with warmth as she extended a hand. "Hi, Mr. Clarke, I'm Anna. I heard you're looking for someone to watch the twins." Her voice was calm, unhurried, as though she had all the time in the world. Ethan blinked, caught off guard by how composed she seemed. Yes, come in." He stepped aside awkwardly, suddenly aware of the mess behind him. The twins peeked out from the hallway, curiosity written all over their identical faces. Within moments, Mia marched forward with her usual boldness. "Are you the babysitter?" she asked, tilting her head. Anna crouched to her level, smiling. "That depends. Do you want me to be?" Lily, the quieter of the two, edged closer and whispered, "Do you know how to draw unicorns?" Without hesitation, Anna set her bag down, pulled out a notebook and a pen, and sketched a quick but graceful unicorn, complete with flowing mane and spiral horn. The girls gasped in delight, instantly won over. Within 10 minutes, the living room floor was covered with paper and crayons as Anna sat cross-legged between them, laughing and doodling as if she had known them for years. Ethan, standing in the kitchen doorway with his coffee mug, felt something inside him loosen. He hadn't heard his daughters laugh like that in a while, not the giggles they shared with each other, but the kind of laughter that came when someone new made them feel seen. Over the following weeks, Anna became a quiet rhythm in the Clarke household, slipping into their lives with an ease that surprised Ethan. She wasn't loud or showy, she simply fit, like she had always been meant to be there. At first, Ethan hovered. He'd come home late from work, his boots caked with dust, his shirt streaked with sweat, and half expect to find chaos: the twins fighting over dolls, dishes stacked high in the sink, and Anna scrolling her phone in boredom. But instead, the house was calm. The girls would be in pajamas, hair brushed into neat braids, teeth brushed, books spread open on the couch. The kitchen smelled of warm soup or roasted vegetables. And Anna, always smiling but never smug, would quietly gather her things as if she hadn't just transformed his household in a matter of hours. One evening, after a particularly long shift, Ethan returned to find the 3 of them at the dining table. Mia was bent over her math worksheet, tongue sticking out in concentration. Lily was coloring beside her. Anna leaned close, pointing to the page. "See, Mia, you don't have to rush. Start with the 10s place, then move to the 1s. It's like stacking building blocks." Mia frowned, then brightened. "Oh, I get it now." Ethan stood at the doorway, unseen, and felt something stir in his chest. It wasn't just relief, it was admiration. When Anna finally noticed him, she greeted him with the same warm calmness she always carried. "Hey, Mr. Clarke, dinner's still warm if you haven't eaten." He blinked. "You cooked." "Just pasta with vegetables. Nothing fancy." But when Ethan tasted it, the flavors surprised him. It wasn't takeout level quick food, It was balanced, thoughtful, even comforting. Still, there were things that didn't quite add up. She spoke with ease about places she shouldn't have visited on a babysitter's budget, trips abroad, art galleries, a childhood of piano recitals. When Lily dragged her to the upright piano in the corner one afternoon, Anna sat down and played effortlessly, her fingers moving with professional skill. The twins clapped in delight, demanding more songs, while Ethan, leaning against the doorway, frowned. How did a babysitter know Mozart by heart? One Saturday, as the girls painted at the kitchen table, Mia accidentally knocked over her juice, staining her dress. Ethan jumped to grab paper towels, but before he could, Anna calmly pulled a slim white pen from her bag, dabbing the spot with practiced precision. "Where on earth did you get that?" Ethan asked, incredulous. "Old habit," she replied smoothly, though something flickered in her eyes. "I hate stains." "You act like you've been trained for everything," Ethan said, half joking, half suspicious. Anna smiled, but didn't answer. That night, after tucking the girls in, Ethan found himself lingering in the kitchen as Anna washed the last dish. He tried to tell himself it was just gratitude, but his curiosity tugged at him. "You've been good with them," he admitted. "Better than I expected, but you don't strike me as the babysitter type." Anna glanced over her shoulder, soap suds clinging to her fingers. For a brief second, her face softened, less guarded, more real. "Maybe that's because babysitting isn't just a job for me. It's a way to feel normal." Ethan frowned. Normal. But she shook her head lightly, turning back to the sink. "Never mind. The girls are happy, and that's what matters, right?" He didn't press, though her words lingered with him long after she left. Saturday afternoon sunlight streamed through the curtains, casting golden patches across the living room. Ethan was crouched on the floor, trying to fix a stubborn cabinet door. The twins darted between the kitchen and the couch, giggling. Anna had gone out earlier to pick up groceries, and the house felt a little too quiet without her. The spell broke when Mia shrieked, "Daddy! Daddy! Come quick!" Ethan dropped the screwdriver and hurried to the living room, panic tightening his chest. Instead, he found both girls planted in front of the television. "Daddy, look!" Lily pointed at the screen. "Anna's on TV." Ethan blinked, then turned toward the muted news channel. For a moment, he thought it was a mistake, maybe someone who just looked like Anna. But no, there she was, unmistakably her, though dressed far differently than he had ever seen her. Gone were the jeans and sweaters. On the screen, Anna wore a tailored navy suit, her hair swept into an elegant chignon, standing confidently beside a tall, silver-haired man at a press conference. The headline beneath them read, "Cameron Industries, CEO's daughter returns to the city." Ethan's pulse hammered in his ears. Cameron Industries, his company, his boss, and Anna, his babysitter, was the CEO's daughter. "Is it really her?" Mia asked, eyes shining. "She looks so fancy. She looks like a princess," Lily whispered. The front door opened just then, and Anna's cheerful voice floated in. "I'm back. They had fresh strawberries at the market, so she froze as her gaze landed on the television. The grocery bag slipped slightly in her grip. Her smile faded, replaced by something caught between resignation and dread. The twins swarmed her immediately. "Anna, you're famous." Anna set the bag down gently, her hands trembling just enough for Ethan to notice. She knelt to meet the girls' excited faces. "Yes, that's me. So you are a princess." Lily squealed. Anna forced a laugh, hugging them back. "Not quite, sweetheart." Ethan stepped forward, his voice rough. "So it's true." Her eyes met his, and in them, he saw both defiance and fear. "Yes, my name is Anna Cameron. My father is Richard Cameron." Ethan's hands curled into fists. He thought of every late night she had spent here, every meal she had cooked, every bedtime story she had read. Was it all part of some game? "You work for him," Anna continued softly. "I know, but I didn't come here because of that." "Then why?" Ethan's voice was sharper than he intended. "Why would the daughter of a billionaire CEO take a babysitting job in my house?" Anna held his gaze, her face pale but steady. "Because I needed to. Because I wanted something real. I've lived my whole life in boardrooms and banquets, surrounded by people who only see my last name. With Mia and Lily, I finally felt like myself. The twins clung to her arms, oblivious to the storm brewing between the adults. Ethan stared at Anna, torn between anger, betrayal, and the undeniable truth. She looked sincere. For the first time since his wife's death, he had trusted someone new with his daughters. Now, he wasn't sure if that trust had been a mistake, or the best decision he'd ever made. That evening, the house felt heavier than usual. The twins had gone to bed early, worn out from the excitement. Ethan stood on the porch, arms crossed, waiting. Anna joined him, her poise cracked just slightly. "Why didn't you tell me who you were?" Ethan asked. Anna exhaled slowly. "Because I didn't want you to look at me and only see that. The CEO's daughter. The rich girl who's never had to struggle. I wanted you, and the girls, to see me as Anna. Just Anna." Ethan shook his head. "Do you have any idea how this looks? I work for your father's company. What was I supposed to think? That this was some project? That you're here spying for him?" Her hazel eyes softened. "No, my father doesn't even know I'm here. He wouldn't understand why I needed this. And why did you?" Her voice wavered, carrying a vulnerability he hadn't heard before. "Because my world is suffocating. Every day, I'm paraded in front of investors and executives. Every word I say is judged, every step measured against my father's shadow. I needed, to feel something real, to do something that mattered. When I saw your ad, I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this is where I can be useful in a way that isn't about profits and power." Ethan studied her, his chest tight. He wanted to stay angry. But when he remembered the way Mia had curled against Anna's side during storytime, or how Lily's shy laugh had grown bolder with Anna's encouragement, the anger faltered. "You've been good for them," he admitted. "Better than I ever expected. But secrets," he stopped, swallowing hard. "Secrets have a way of destroying trust. And trust is all I have left to give." Anna stepped closer, her eyes glistening. "I never meant to break that trust. If you want me to leave, I will. But Ethan, please believe me when I say, I care about your girls. About you." Her words hung in the air, fragile and trembling. Ethan looked away, staring out at the dark yard. His heart warred with his head. Logic told him to cut ties before things grew more complicated. But his heart remembered the sound of his daughter's laughter, the light Anna had brought into their home. When he finally spoke, his voice was softer. "Your secret's safe with me. I won't say a word to anyone. But this, us, it has to be real. No more masks. No more half-truths." Anna nodded quickly, relief flooding her features. "No more masks. I promise." For the first time in years, Ethan allowed himself to hope. Hope that his daughters might grow up surrounded not just by love, but by joy. Hope that maybe, just maybe, his life could expand beyond work and worry. And as Anna smiled faintly, her eyes shining with something unspoken, Ethan wondered if fate had sent him a babysitter, or something far more unexpected.